Welcome to Stars Podcast, your growth mindset mecca. We are all about self-leadership principles here at Stars Podcast. Our guests come from all over the world with very unique stories of how they hacked their way into success. As you'll quickly find out, nothing happens overnight. And as always, enjoy the journey. Hey guys, welcome back. This is Ron Jordan over at Stars Podcast, coming at you at Rocinante Studios in Slippery Rock, Pennsylvania. Today we have coming in from the north of the border. Yeah, that's right, Canada. Our boy Mario Longtin is coming in. He's a special guest today. Some know him as the Flip Master. I'm sure he's going to be forever grateful for Fuck Render and Fuck Crystals. Hey, give it up for Mario coming in hot on Stars Podcast. What's up, brother?
Hey, how's it going? Thank you so much. That's
absolutely
crazy introduction. Thank
you.
Yeah,
well, listen, man, you've created one hell of a name for yourself as sort of like the go-to guru. Huh?
Yeah,
I mean, it's
pretty unreal.
It is unreal because you got your start pretty recently, I assume, right?
Sorry, my start like in April. Yeah,
in NFTs themselves. So
yeah.
So your first go around was then with the V Friends, I assume, that project. Just getting introduction, or is it further back than that?
Eminem's NFT actually what drew me in originally.
Oh, and then, so the one where he gave up the rights to a track, was that it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So run me through that project.
Yeah, definitely. It was on Nifty Gateway, and they had open editions, so it was more like in the $300 range. So it was more affordable for me because that one was up for auction. Ended up selling, the one that you're talking about there ended up selling for $100,000 to Tom McDonald. He actually ended up making a song out of it, and he was able to say it was produced by Eminem, which was like #1 on the billboards. I think it's called Dear Slim. And then I took advantage. I don't know. It's what drew me in because I'm a huge fan of Eminem to begin with. And then, what validated the whole space, like when I saw Eminem's NFT and then Gary Vaynerchuk, it was a combination of both. Like Gary kind of validated it for me. So I was like, okay, I got to jump in.
Yeah. I love the fact that like Tom McDonald was able to see, oh, I can use this as a track for my own stuff. And then say it was produced by Eminem because it was.
Yeah.
Could you imagine like if you were just trying to get Eminem to produce something for you, how much it would cost? And he got that for what, $100,000?
Exactly. I can't.
That was like imagine. Stealing.
Yeah, he said it was the smartest marketing decisions he's ever done, or something like that, along those lines.
Oh, I'm sure of it. And anybody who doesn't know Tom McDonald, I've listened to probably like 6 or 7 of his tracks, and I mean he's fantastic.
Well, yeah, his lyrics are true, right? Authentic.
It's like what rap used to be.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's like what it was a movement type of thing, not just talking about what you have. It was more about cultural movements. And that's what Tom McDonald talks about all the time.
It's true. Yep.
So are you a rap fan in general or hip hop?
Yes.
Yeah,
I am big time for sure.
Okay, so that rang true to you. Who are your top 5?
Oh boy. Right now, definitely Eminem, J. Cole, Logic, Kendrick Lamar, and Yellow Wolf. I would say right now.
Yellow Wolf.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard of Yellow Wolf. Have I?
Probably. He's pretty popular. Like I'm sure you've heard one of his songs because it plays on the radio and stuff. He's got a lot of features with Eminem. His newest album was with Kasky. That one I'm really liking a lot lately.
Okay. Yeah, I've listened to Logic. I've listened to Kendrick Lamar quite a bit. Eminem was always my jam growing up. I mean, if you didn't have Eminem, Slim Shady in your head as an earworm, I don't know where you were at.
So true though.
It is so true. So true. So that brought you into the NFT market. I mean, so that's not your full-time thing as far as like before April. So what is it that you do that allows for this opportunity to present itself to you? Like, have you always been into computers and gaming and sort of the tech side of life?
Yeah, I definitely was always IT, like I got in like MySpace, made my own website when I was like 15, HTML, CSS, like JavaScript, stuff like that. Um, MSN, right? Like back in those days. That was all when I was in high school. Cell phones exploded, so it went from like the flip phone to the BlackBerry to the smartphone. So I was all there throughout. Like I was like 18, 19, like when that whole thing was happening. So I was able to adopt it quick, I find. Um, Definitely I went to school for IT, but I switched to business, and that's where I graduated with a business diploma. Um, I was working at the accounting firm, and they actually ran out of bookkeeping work. So, and then I decided to get my, well, I was already deciding to go to university to get my CPA. They didn't like the fact that I was doing it full time at the same time as bookkeeping. They thought I was going to overwhelm myself. So essentially, yeah, they ran out of bookkeeping work, and then they basically wanted me back when I had my CPA. And I was about my second, I was 2.5 years going into my third, but basically the whole flipping thing kind of put a pause to that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's like CPA or flipping. Like, what's more exciting?
Well, just put in perspective, I made more money in 5 months than I did all year from the accounting firm. So I was just, it's kind of a no brainer to me right now.
Yeah. Well, whenever you can do that part of it, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, whenever you're breaking down projects like that, what is the secret sauce? What are you looking for?
Usually the community is going to be key. The team behind the projects are going to be key. Uh, but yeah, I think to be honest, like I feel like it's the community, right? Like if there's enough people going in, right? Like enough demand, especially from the people that are like Bored Apes, Cool Cats, like the blue chip project holders, influencers, like that type of thing. If they're interested in the project, chances are the project's gonna do well. Like chances are. So like it kind of shortens that, like, right, because they're doing the research already kind of thing for me. I'll
Mhm.
obviously verify, like, just to make sure, so I don't because they don't always get everything right, just like we don't,
Of
right?
course. Of
Yeah.
course. Yeah.
And so yeah, it's just kind of playing that, and then obviously talking. Like I talk to a lot of people and kind of bouncing ideas off people. And like when you have like I don't know 4 or 5 people going in the same project, generally it's like it's a good idea. Got to be careful with the herd mentality, of course, but like
Yeah. 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 Of course. With so many different projects out there, you almost have to hack the system and sort of follow the crowd in certain respects. Like you obviously can't follow all the time.
Yeah,
But I've noticed that too, where a lot of the quote unquote influencers and even in this small market that we're in, there are already influencers,
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
really pushing this table around. I always picture, do you ever use the like it's a desktop toy and it has little like stainless steel balls in it, and you have to like tilt it all over the place, but not
Okay,
move
yeah,
not move certain ones. Like I feel like
yeah.
that's how this works somehow. Like once one
That's
ball is
true.
in place, like you can do the other ones. Anyhow, it's just me being weird.
No, I get it. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, for
There's definitely a
sure.
pattern. Like there's a pattern recognition for sure.
That's all I'm saying is like there's a way that each one of these sort of just follows the same pattern, and it's because it is really because of human buying behavior is what
Yeah.
it ends up being. And something that I learned the other day too was, whenever like post project, this is something that I think it was in Clubhouse, I was listening to this, like post project and post reveal, you always see a massive dump off, and then you see like there's this peak, and then all of a sudden everybody starts to undercut one another just to try and get rid of
Mm.
them. And it's like to find that sweet spot right there to list and be in that flow of like almost like a Rolodex. Once it hits if everything's at 0.5, you want to be at like 0.47, so you're still above the
Yeah.
lowest. It's like it's a weird thing to try and do and try and time, but if you can do it,
Yeah.
you can make some money.
Oh yeah, definitely. Time the dips basically, and then buy back in when it rises, especially if it's a good one, right? Because they don't
Mhm.
always rise, but when they do, like crypto deads, for example, like they went all the way down to like 0.15 at one point after reveal, and then
Yeah.
they just shot right back up. So that was interesting.
Yeah, I think they're up to 2 now. So I'm like, I'm tickled because of it, because I said, geez, if a dad project can do that good, hopefully This dad project over on this side of the table does good too.
Yeah, man. Well, I
So
actually found out about yours before theirs, but they just released theirs like before yours kind of thing.
yeah, and they were probably working on it all summer too.
Yeah, of course.
It's just
Yeah.
like none of this shit pops up overnight. Now that I've
Yeah.
been in the mix on it, I'm like,
A lot
yeah,
of work for
if
sure.
it pops off today, you were talking about it in April, not today, but you were talking about 4 months ago, 5 months ago. You have to be.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
There's
100%.
so much work that goes into these things that like, yeah, that aside.
It's gonna be fun though. Yeah. I can't wait for your project.
Yeah, I'm excited too, man. I'm like, we with Steven coming over this weekend, and we're gonna pump out a bunch of stuff in the Discord and get all that sealed up. And there's a lot sort of it was like this. Now we're here,
Nice. Yeah.
and it's exciting. But well, you're heavily involved in a couple projects yourself. Do you want to talk about any of those?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Uh, so one of the first projects that I invested on OpenSea was Lucky Cats by Roscoe Felix, and he actually like, long story short, he actually like, when I bought into his project, it was due to the art and like the community, and then when I did more digging because I was so new, right? I did more research into the artist. He actually ended up doing a video for Gary Vee. He did the Dirts and Warm video with K Swiss. So I
Oh,
was
no
like, wow, I
way.
found yeah. And then he did videos with Mr. Beast, Nate Shot. Like he's a legit real artist. So I thought I struck a gold mine, right? And it paid off because he had a collab with Vogu when that happened, and then his project blew up. Like, so he finally got the kind of the credit he deserved, kind of thing, you know.
What was his
Um,
name?
his name is Felix Slater. So Roscoe and Friends is his Twitter handle, where you can find the project.
Yeah, I was just writing that down. It's amazing. Do you find yourself just sort of attracted to certain projects just based on who you are as a person? Like it just comes up for you?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Lucky Ghost about Antoine there. It just like resonated with me right away. Uh, High quality
Mm-hmm.
art, great community, and then just like, yeah. But as soon as I saw it, I was just like, whoa, yeah, like you stop. And like G Monk's another one. He does a lot of cool things with like photography. He does like reverse like lights, and he puts like a lot of like science and engineering behind his art. It's mind blowing. Um, so yeah, I'm very fascinated with things like that. There's a lot of things on Twitter I'll just see and I'll just retweet it because it's so like so nice.
Yeah,
Usually
it's
out of my price range, but so nice.
isn't that the truth? I saw something yesterday. It was all lasers, and the guy had it all set up where it was like a tabletop, like a workbench, and there were just wires everywhere. It was a mess. But in the little set area, unbelievably beautiful. And it was all done with lasers. And
Wow, yeah,
he
that's
would do this laser show. So it was
so
really
cool.
neat, really, really neat. The creativity that's out there is blowing me away.
Oh yeah, every
Just
day.
being,
Yeah,
it's like we walk through these hallways, and I think about being in school, and you're walking down the hallways and you're just seeing all of this beautiful artwork as you walk the class. It's
yeah.
really neat.
It's
And to be
being a kid in
around
the
it
candy store.
constantly. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
But you've already been diagnosed with diabetes and you spent all your money.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
So it's like it's sometimes window shopping is just fine. But the cool thing about what we do too is like the community part of it. And that's really what a lot of this is about, is all of us pointing our efforts in the same direction for a common goal.
yeah.
So a lot of this is, yes, supporting the artist because of their art, but also their movement of sorts.
Exactly. Yeah. It kind of reminds me of the old days of YouTube. There's a lot of different channels, niches, right, popping up, and then you're supporting a community basically. Like you're supporting that creator. It's kind of like similar in that nature, I find.
Oh, 100%. It's very much the same thing. Is That's why I like whenever we talk about being able to support one another and everybody wins, because when we all
Yeah,
get together and we all end up winning, it's like,
yeah,
just because we're quote unquote competitors, because we're trying to get the dollars and cents, because we have movements that we want to initiate as well, But when we can say, yeah, I'm glad that you're winning too. Like, I want your shit to pop off because I love what you're doing too.
Yeah,
That's the cool part about NFTs is everybody seems to be of that mindset, at least the majority.
exactly. A lot of collabs. I love it. And a lot of support, just like, for example, the Bored Apes during Christie's and all those projects are suiting up. Like, I find that's awesome. So awesome for the space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What was that anyhow? I wasn't super familiar. I saw everybody like getting dressed up.
Yeah. So essentially, the Bored Apes, well, and then there's CryptoPunks and Meebits as well. They're right now they're in a Christie's auction for Hong Kong, and yeah, so it just started last night, and there's like one of the punks, sorry, one of the apes already has like a 3.5 mil bid on it. Like it's already flying, right? And there's still 10 days left, so it's
Yeah.
gonna be crazy. This one's a big one.
Yeah. The Christie's thing has me really excited just from a visual perspective and global impact perspective. Because
Oh yeah,
everybody knows it.
yeah, it's true. High end art. Like yeah, oh yeah, it definitely brings in a lot of a different kind of crowd, but
Mm-hmm.
it definitely brings in a lot of people, right? And then they're gonna share it with, like, and then it just creates kind of like a ripple effect. It's good for the space.
It's funny that you say it's good for the space because my next question was some people don't like it at all.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Some people do not want big corporations or like these notable figures inside of the ecosystem. It's really interesting
Yeah,
to sit in on those conversations and just like be a fly in the wall.
I get it. The whole debate, but like, a centralized company become like coming into a decentralized. Yeah, I get it. I get the debate. It's interesting for sure. I still
Yeah.
think it's good for the space in general because it's bringing like, you know what I mean? They're not, it's not like they're changing anything. They're
No,
just they're
they're
just
helping
retelling
test
it.
the system. They're you know
Yeah.
they're proving concepts. They're
Yeah.
scaling.
They're validating it for us really, like at a
Yeah.
higher level.
Yeah, because the only way to really have cryptocurrency become a currency that is accepted worldwide is to allow companies to offer it and accept it as currency.
Yeah, exactly. It's the only
You
way we're gonna
can't,
get mass adoption.
yeah, you can't pay your mortgage in cryptocurrency at this time from from what I understand. You can buy a car, but like you can't pay the bank your
Yeah.
whatever. Like you can't pay
Yeah.
Ford every month in cryptocurrency from right now. So until you can do your normal day-to-day stuff, it's going to be difficult and having other companies come in and accept it and allowing that to become currency is something of interest for sure. It's like that's sort of the next evolution, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. All these big corporations coming in, gaming. Oh yeah, those two I feel are gonna be the big drivers to the mass.
Yeah. Did you read my Twitter post? I think it was last night. It was about gaming. And if you think about this, so if you have an NFT game, you own all your stuff that you're wearing. Like you own the
Yeah.
armor, you own the sword, you own the helmet, you own all the stuff. You own all your boosts and all this. Well, then you go up and you do a boss fight and it says, do you want to continue? And you click yes, because it's asking you if you want to continue, because if you lose, you lose all your stuff.
Yeah.
But if you
That's cool.
win, you're talking about the gamble side of things. And it's like, I think
Yeah.
those are fun. We're already starting to see that gamification side of it and that thought process whenever you're talking about, you can either burn it or use it type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, what are your thoughts on that, on
I
the
feel like
NFT
that.
gaming side?
Yeah, that's definitely coming 100%. That just reminds me of so many things, right? Like mostly PvP stuff, like related stuff. But yeah, and that was like I remember like my cousin played a lot of Diablo and he was telling me about the whole marketplace thing and like how, right, just like you said, you would kill like another player, they would lose all their stuff that they're holding, and you'd be able to pick it up and you'd be able to sell it for profits. And he was actually selling his in-game items for real money. And this was like
I bet.
20 years ago, right? Like this was a long time ago. So I feel like that now, but that was against the terms of conditions, right? So if they found out, they could ban your account. So now this whole gamification thing is gonna finally it's you're playing to earn now. It's instead of paying to play, like you're paying to earn. It's very like obviously it's game breaking, like it's game changing. Sorry, it's gonna
Yeah.
take over. It's gonna take over for
You
sure.
you have some people now that are just they've quit their jobs, they're playing Axie Infinity all day long.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
It's fun too. That's the thing. Like, if you're into games and you like doing that, it's fun.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Like we were playing the poker game today. We were crash testing some bots before we put it into our Discord. And the one guy on our team, Marcos, he was like, I should be working. And I said, we are. He goes,
Yeah,
you're right.
it's true. Yeah.
So we are working. We're crash testing. This is part of it.
Yep.
But it was fun to say that because it was fun. Of trying to max out your poker game is fun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's cool. Yeah, it's true. It's just like being in Clubhouse or Discord, Twitter. It's all kind of like market research. It's all kind of part of networking. It's like it technically like work, right? Especially if it's your full time job.
Yeah.
I don't
Well, I think
obviously treat it as work, but because it's just fun to do.
yeah, but the skill sets are there. You know what I mean? Like you have the skill set to navigate those conversations, those questions to ask. You're able to put two and two together as far as like, okay, this project has done this and it has this many followers and it should follow suit with it. It's like being able to see those likenesses is a skill set. And it
Yeah.
doesn't, and not everybody has them inherently. And those are cultivated. And I think that's something that we're starting to see, like yourself, like you're out there teaching others how to do this and to recognize those patterns. And it's important. It's really important work that you're doing.
Well, thank you. I definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, no, it really
And
is because
I don't
unless
realize.
somebody's teaching it, you don't realize it in the moment, but you're like, you have a PhD at this point.
Yeah, that's crazy. It
It's
doesn't seem
it's
like it
nuts.
though.
6 months and you're like top of the class because of how you've handled it.
Mind blowing. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to blow smoke either. Everybody talks to you about stuff. I'm
Yeah,
it's no secret.
it's true.
If you're in the room, you're getting pinged, or if you're not in the room, you're getting pinged to come in.
Yeah, that's true.
So what has been, the thing that you're getting questions the most about in DMs or just in clubhouses? What's like the top 3 questions that you get asked
I would
other
say,
than what should I buy?
yeah, I was just gonna say, well, usually it's more like, is this project good, or like your opinion on this project in particular. And then it's like, yeah, it's like, it'll be like, oh yeah, one of them. Well, not so much. Before it was, can I like send you some ETH and can you invest for me? But then when I didn't say yes to anybody because I took a pause, because obviously in my accounting background I knew there was going to be tax implications to that. So when I did the research, it was wow. If I did something like that, and we'll say hypothetically like someone was living in the United States, then I would have to get some kind of international like trade, like the international form, sorry, that I'm dealing with, and then there's tax implications on those gains because it's under my name. I would have to have like a corporation. Like there's so many layers to it, right? I would have to get a very good accountant that's very familiar, not just NFTs, but he's got to be familiar with the whole international, like, right? So that's rare to come by. I'm sure that would cost a fortune. So
That's a unique
yeah,
skill set.
yeah. So I had to kind of put that aside for now. And I recommended to those people that I could do some more of like a consulting thing, like hourly thing. That would be more, yeah, that'd be easier. I guess that'd be easier to explain, I guess, to the tax, like to CRA, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's way easier to explain. And it's even though the blockchain is very transparent and you can follow the funds and all of that, yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to navigate those waters because now you're breaking out percentages and
Yeah, exactly.
international affairs. But you would never even get into that conversation in that rabbit hole of investigating if you weren't getting those questions.
Yeah, that's true. Exactly. That's true. It made me do a lot of research. That's for sure.
Well, and it kept you safe. It kept you
Yeah,
out
exactly.
of the doghouse as far as like you weren't greedy. You know what I'm saying? Like you knew
Yeah,
to take a pause for a second and say, "Hey, wait a minute. This I just based on your background, you say, this doesn't feel right." That
exactly.
your gut was like, I don't think so.
I don't think the CRA would like that too much.
That's
Like,
smart though.
Yeah. Because obviously, yeah, it would have been great to take like 5, 10 ETH and flip it and make like, and split sure, that would be easy money in my opinion. Because the blue chip like I feel like it would be pretty easy money. But again, like I feel like, yeah, I feel like I would have to there's a lot of like I would have to talk to my accountant about that, like, and take it slow for that, something like that.
Right. Coming from an accountant.
Well, technically not accountant,
Not yet.
bookkeeper.
Not
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah. Didn't have my CPA, but bookkeeper, yeah.
Hmm. So what do you do outside of NFTs? I know that we had talked before, and you were heavily into hockey and those, just sports in general. Are you still playing anything in the past for your pastime, or working out, anything like that to keep your physical health going?
I was before COVID, was in the gym and stuff. And yeah, ever since COVID kind of put a halt to that. So now I want to get back into the gym.
For sure.
I wanted to do Muay Thai. Like I want to join the gym and do Muay Thai. And yeah, I definitely want to play Beers League hockey there, men's league.
Nice.
I was playing as a spare like the back because I was in school and I just had my son. So I spent a lot of time with my son. He's 2.5 right now. And then yeah, pretty much all I do now is NFTs really. It's
Hmm.
my son, NFTs.
Hey, that's not a bad
Much.
life. That's not a bad life at all. So you got 2-year-old son. Oh my goodness. The 2-year-old. I remember 2-year-old. 2-year-old B, man. She was good though. No issues really. I mean, your son is pretty active.
Oh yeah, nonstop.
What do you
A lot
guys?
of it demands a lot of my attention.
Oh, really?
Still,
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
that's really fun that you're able to, and that's something that I've talked about too here is the ability for us to be at home given the opportunity, and still be able to work has been really cool.
yeah, oh
And
yeah,
just from a family dynamic perspective, if you have a healthy family dynamic, obviously if you're the other side of the spectrum, this has been awful, because you're stuck in the house with those people. But um, you know, I mean, just
yeah.
being honest, that's certainly, that would suck. You're sort of a prisoner
Well,
then.
I'm a single father. She actually just moved out. We broke up about 10 months ago now. Wow,
Oh,
and then she
okay.
just because of COVID, the prices were so high, and so like we're still friends. Like we're still like it was still good for
Uh-huh.
the most part. But yeah, so now I'm just getting used to. It's been 2 weeks now that I've been on my own, so just getting used to that.
Absolutely.
Not seeing my son as much anymore because he's obviously sleeping over there. So
Hmm.
that's a whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. I remember going through that whenever Brielle's mom and I first separated. It was like those first couple weeks, whenever things, you're splitting time and all of that. It's like it's so tough. Whenever you go
Yeah.
from full time every single day, you almost take
Yeah.
it for granted how much time you actually do get to spend with them. And then when it's stripped back, you're like, ugh, that that hurts a little bit.
Well, I used to put him down every night, and yeah, now it's like 2 or 3 nights a week I won't. So it's like it's
Yeah.
weird being like not like walking by his room and nobody's in there. It's so odd, like
Uh-huh.
And then we had 2 cats, so like we had them since birth, so 7 years now. And she took them there because they were like technically hers, like from
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So yeah, so now I have to get a new one.
You gotta get new
It's
cats,
just so
everything.
empty. It's just so empty.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. Yeah. Whenever all of those other things come out and all that's left is like your stuff, you're like, man, I really didn't have much.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's crazy. I have to buy a bunch of new decorations on the wall and stuff.
Of course. Yeah. Get all the
It's
holiday.
fun though. It's
It
fun.
is. It is. It's like, they always say the new beginning. It's kind of cliche, but it's fun to sort of recreate and remold what you can, take
Mhm.
control of what you can. That's really the big part of it. Is so much shit is out of control that whatever you can just sort of grab onto and say, okay, I can at least do some nest work and,
Yeah.
in my own house. So that's all good. So what do you do to like kind of navigate those waters? Are you into meditation? Are you into doing any of that stuff, or is it just stay
I
busy and
was
that's the way you do it?
yeah, I was definitely always interested in meditation, just never got like really around to it. Like I watched a bunch of content on it, but I just never like sat down and tried it kind of thing.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't yeah, I just stay busy. Um I do smoke, so like I don't know, cannabis
Uh-huh.
helps me a little bit.
Oh, okay, for sure. Did you ever watch or not watch, but read the book? I have it right here. It's called Flow.
Okay, yeah.
And
I yeah, that's a good one.
so you've read it?
I didn't read it, but I watched like a video, like a review on it.
Yeah, no doubt. So what you're talking about whenever you're talking about NFTs and just sort of being in it, I think flow state, people like think that meditation has to be different than what you do. And I don't
Mm.
think that it does. I think as long as you can get into like a flow state where you're sort of like almost, the Zach Galifianakis gif where there's like all types of like trigonometry going around his head.
Okay, yeah.
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 Like I
That's a
think
good one.
about that as like that's flow state.
Yeah.
Whenever you're sort of there but not there, sort of an out of body deal,
Yeah.
that's that's just like meditation. It's active meditation.
So that, yeah, August, I would say I was definitely in that flow state. And then because I was going hard for 5 months, I had to take a week and a half off there from day trading in
Uh-huh.
September. Now I'm finally getting back into it now. There, it feels good. It's been a
Yeah.
while, but it's
It
it's
almost
all
feels
new
better.
now.
Yeah.
It's completely changed already. Like you have to be definitely adaptable and like because now it's all about whitelisting and like so it's tough out there now. Like compared to before, I find it was definitely a lot easier before.
Yeah. Yeah, the whitelisting's fun. We're actually navigating those waters right now. The whitelisting part has been an interesting conversation for us because we're trying to use Polygon tokens to talk with the ERC 720 side. And I don't know that the code is going to allow us to do that. So then what
Okay.
you have to end up doing is you can either not validate your address and do it on the website side, or you can do it as a contract interaction for every single person you put on, and then build into your code that like if you have a VFriends token, you get the early access, but not the whitelist. So there'll
Mm,
be a whitelist for 72 hours for like, let's say 100 people, because that's going to cost a lot of money because you have to interact with a contract every time. But then you release the full contract, which then has just those, let's say that it's VFriends and pick a project. If you have those tokens, you're available or you're eligible rather to come into the pre-sale. And then you can do it that way. And then you just set a limit and then you can, that's less expensive because it's just lines of code then that it's pulling from.
that
But the
makes sense.
whitelisting is interesting. And some of these guys that do that do the whitelist and interact with the contract every single time, and that's how they're doing it, that's an expensive project.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah,
So
that's
I
pretty
didn't I
crazy.
didn't know if you knew that or not.
Yeah. Like you're talking about the guy that purchased sorry, like 1,000. Like, is that what you're talking about? Sorry. They use a contract to interact with the contract to mint. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's mind blowing.
it's incredible. Yeah, and then we're seeing because whenever you do those whitelists too, it seems like it leaves it vulnerable to um if you can mint from the contract, it allows people to like mint a bunch if you don't do the code right, and then
Okay,
they
yeah.
sort of steal them because
Yeah.
they don't steal them because they buy all the tokens but they only pay the one gas fee, and then they give them out to all of all of their followers for less money because
Yeah.
there's free gas, so you can give it to them at cost. It's fun. It's fun to see all of the things that are happening. Like you said, you take a week off and then all of a sudden it's like, uh, okay, this is
So
new.
much changed. Oh yeah. It's crazy.
That's something that they talk about in that flow book is whenever you're learning new skills, that bell curve of sort of learning. And then once you get to that upper bell curve is whenever you start getting flow state
Mm,
type of interactions with whatever you're doing, because you have a good understanding enough that you can enjoy the process of it, but you're not an expert. So you're constantly pursuing, which like aids in getting you to that in that flow state. It's an
that makes sense.
interesting concept
Yeah, that
that they
makes
talk
sense.
about. Yeah, because you don't really enjoy stuff when you're new. You enjoy it when you're kind of good at
Yeah. Oh yeah. When you're new, it was more, yeah, it was definitely a different feel, that's for sure. It was only until like June that it started to feel more like oh, like more like yeah. Yeah, just like exactly what you said. Yeah, it's so true. Yeah, so true.
Yeah, because whenever you're doing new stuff, it's like it's really anxiety ridden. You're not
Exactly.
sure of every interaction. Your palms are sweating.
Yeah. Oh
You're
yeah.
like, holy shit, did I share my screen when I did that? Like all of this stuff is going through your head all the time because you don't want to get scammed. You don't want to give up all your stuff. You
Yeah.
want to make the right choices, but you're not sure because you haven't made enough of them yet. It's like, it's
It's so
crazy.
true.
And then for you to ride the damn wave and just like kind of come down on the tsunami, I'm like, you flipped clear into a V friend, man.
Yeah. Pretty mind blowing.
It's unbelievably mind blowing.
And
And
then
thank
just to
God you
set
were
my
plugged into the community too, like to have the option to buy it at the price you did at the
yeah.
time.
Yeah. Yeah, we locked it in at 3 ETH. I think the floor was around 3 or 4 ETH. And then yeah, at the when I purchased it, it was 7 ETH. And Frederick was amazing, and he still let me buy it for 3, like we agreed upon. So
Yeah.
yeah, crazy.
The
And now
tenacious termite.
yeah, it's just crazy. And then I also set myself up like because I like, I didn't want to just get 3 ETH. I wanted to get more so I can set myself up to do this full time. So then yeah, I'm just in a position that I'm able to do so. So it's just mind blowing.
Yeah, so you're doing this full time now, right?
Yeah. Yeah. This is my full-time job now.
Isn't that incredible?
Yeah, it's crazy. It adds a different kind of pressure, but it's good.
So what has been your favorite part about it? About the process in general or just NFTs? Why do you like the NFTs so much? Let me ask you that.
Yeah, the art, the whole collecting aspect, it's on the blockchain, the whole community aspect of it. I like being early, like the fact that we're early, like, innovating in like the tech space. It's just like kind of checks all the boxes in terms of that aspect. I always like collecting and like that kind of like, I don't know, it was always fun to like flip things inside video games. Like I remember playing NHL, and it was like there was like the hut card pack games inside the, and then yeah, it's very similar. Like you pull packs or you buy cards on secondary and you can flip them. Very similar. And you use the in-game currency, which was like EA pucks, which would have been your ETH. Like it's exactly the same thing. It's
Yeah.
crazy. So like I don't know, I was just kind of like, yeah, it was just kind of like, and the fact that you can do this for like a living, and like it's just yeah, it just checks all the boxes for me. Definitely, like, yeah, I definitely like the whole art aspect of it, and like the music, and like it's just the whole creator aspect. It's like an art renaissance, and it just speaks to me really well.
I like that you've sort of already been doing this from a younger age too, where you've had the practice inside of the game.
Yeah.
It just makes my head spin a little bit because I'm a huge NHL fan. I'm huge into the NHL hockey games. I always have been. It's clear back since NHL '94. I
Oh
mean,
well, yeah.
I was playing on Sega and just killing my dad's buddies on that game. I come mid ice. I go to the right wing, go down, do the spin in the face off circle, come across, shoot top right. I mean, you couldn't stop it.
That's
And
so awesome.
they never seemed to be able to understand what I was doing. I was like 8.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
But
96 was mine. That's funny. 94 for yours. That's awesome.
yeah, I love it. Well, I mean, but what you were saying though is it strikes me because they already have been, the gaming industry has been doing this for the longest time. It's forever. Like the gamers
Yeah.
get it because we've been trying to get Sonic coins forever. It's like it makes sense to us because that's what we've been
Yeah.
dealing with for our whole lives is this fake currency to buy digital things.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's been around for a while. That concept for sure.
Yeah.
Now the fact that they're on the blockchain is just obviously it just takes it to that whole next level.
Yeah, because now, I mean, now it lives there forever. Now
Yeah,
it's a ledger of sorts that is public knowledge all
and
the
you actually
time.
own it. Whereas before you didn't own it. Like EA still owns your assets inside the game.
Well,
And
that's
as
my
soon as it,
question. That's my question about the metaverse is if Sandbox folds up or if Decentraland folds up and they stop paying their bills, you lose all your stuff on there still. So it's not really decentralized, is it?
I would have to look more into it. I was under the impression that you would not lose your stuff
So
because
you
of
would
the,
have your stuff, but you'd have nowhere to play. So there would have to be another metaverse that would be
yeah.
created that would accept all of those tokens.
I'm pretty sure they all accept them all. Like I'm pretty sure I can, because right now I have like a Decentraland like sweater or whatever. I'm pretty sure I'd be able to take that and go to like the other one, and
See,
because
that's
it's
what I'm
like,
wondering, if there's
yeah,
universal code that's being used so you can
because if it's a near C, like usually I think it's a 1155 token, right? So as
Mhm.
long as the metaverse can accept that, then I'm pretty sure it's going to be like OpenSea. They just need to be able to read it or whatever.
Yeah.
That's from my understanding. Again, I have to do way more research
Oh
on
yeah, I'm by no means, don't, if you're listening to this right now, do not go off of this. Go do your own research. I am no expert whatsoever. I hang out on Twitter Spaces and drool myself. So like, don't listen to me. However, I've done like a little bit of research into it, and that's what I'm understanding, because I was actually talking to Peg, because she was doing this game on Facebook back in 2011, I think it was 2010, 2011, and she says that it was like a farm bits game or a farmville game,
Okay.
where she was,
Farmville.
buying sheep and buying gold, this and that and whatever. And it was put on by Microsoft, is what she was telling me, and I looked it up too, and it was legit. When they folded up, everybody lost their stuff, and they
Yeah.
said it was an NFT.
Oh, weird. It's not. It would definitely not an NFT
If they lost it, it's not an NFT.
because I remember that like Farmville is a Facebook game. I'm pretty sure it's just
Well,
a
I don't know
flash.
if it was Farmville. I call it
Oh, okay,
Farmville, but I
okay,
don't think it was actually Farmville. It was called
gotcha.
something else. But you essentially did the exact same thing, is you would raise
Yeah,
animals and have a farm and whatever. Um, but as people always do, there are tiers to it. So instead of just having a regular shovel, like you get a gold shovel, and it has
yeah,
30% more efficiency. So like people were doing that, and then all of a sudden the game goes under and they don't have any of their stuff anymore. And
yeah.
they were
So
very upset.
centralized for sure. Like that goes because they still own the assets, right?
Yeah.
That's how it always was. And I feel like now because it's these things are tokenized and they're separate. They're not like just tied. Like I know they're made for Decentraland, but there's still a ERC 1155, and I'm sure anybody can make a metaverse that can accept that, from my understanding.
Yeah, because I was talking to Voxel Blaze the other day, and that's what he and his team do, is they create metaverses and wearables that are
Yeah.
across platform.
I feel like maybe Sandbox, if you build like a house inside Sandbox, maybe that you'll lose. But like the stuff that you create that you're actually selling like on OpenSea, that stuff I don't think you'll lose. It's
Yeah,
like something along those lines.
because it's almost, and I'd be curious to talk to somebody about this. It's almost like anything above grade you own, just the ground itself you don't own, but
Yeah.
everything above that, like if I built a house, I would probably own that house, because now,
Yeah, that's right.
unless like you would make it in voxel editor, and
That's
then
right. Okay, yeah, yeah.
that would be yours, like you would own that.
That's right. Yeah.
So everything like that you put on there, I believe it's yours,
Yeah, that makes sense.
because it's in your wallet and you can transfer that all around and sell it, trade it, whatever you want to do with it. So
So awesome. Yeah.
it is really cool, because you can even go on eBay right now and buy Fortnite accounts that are fully
Yeah.
decked out with everything for like, 10, 15 grand.
Yeah.
You get their Epic ID, you sign in, change the password. Now it's yours.
Yep. Yep.
So I mean, there are legit businesses being made. And then you put on top of that all of the cryptocurrency mining and all of the staking that's going on in the DeFi world. Have you touched on any of that yet?
Yeah. Definitely staked a few coins. It's fun. Yeah, I just went for the popular ones like ADA, Matic, Chainlink, VeChain, Solana, like the popular ones there in the
Mm-hmm.
top like 25. It's yeah, I'm not at first I was like more interested in that, but then NFTs just again took over because at first I thought I was gonna make my money with the altcoins and like doing that, but NFT was just like easier for me to like grasp, I guess. And
Sure.
it was just obviously, yeah.
It's a
And
lot of fun. It
naturally,
is a lot of fun. It seems like you're having a lot of fun with it.
oh yeah, definitely a lot of fun.
Yeah. Whenever you find something like that and you can have the passion about it and make money doing it and helping others, like it seems like it's ticking all the boxes for you.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. That was always something fun. Like when I got involved with the whole personal development entrepreneurship, like 7 years ago, 8 years ago, and that was always something I was interested in. I was like, oh, I would like to actually teach people. Like that seems fun to me. Like, yeah.
Yeah. And now you have, I mean, you've put in the time, man. You got the skill set to do it. Like I said, I know you talked about it before. Now you got your setup going. Are you going to start doing that?
Like, sorry, doing what exactly? Like
Like,
helping.
I know that you're already helping in like an informal way. You're
Yeah.
getting DMs and you're being involved in other projects and helping in that respect. But are you going to put something together for your own project or for your own more structured? Or are you just going to continue to do the day trading and teach along the way?
Well, I have my YouTube channel, right? And that's documenting my journey on how I flipped to a VFriend. So far I have 2 episodes out, working on the third one. Third one's gonna highlight the month of June.
What
Um,
is the name of that?
like my name. So Mario Longtin NFT.
Did I butcher your last name? I think I butchered
But
your last name. What's your last name?
I just pronounce it Longtin. Well, it's French, right? So it's hard to pronounce. The G is silent.
Lotin.
Yeah, that's Longtin. Yeah. It's hard to
Longtin.
pronounce for sure.
Yeah, I called you Longtin. What an ass.
No, it's all good. I'm so used to that. That's yeah. I went to an
Yeah.
English high schools, and that's literally whatever. So they actually nicknamed me like Tin Man or like different
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, definitely get rid of the first part because that's confusing. You're Tin Man now. I love that. So
Yeah,
you have it all documented then on your YouTube channel, that whole entire I mean, not the whole entire, but the flip process up into the VFriend. Are you serious right now?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Money. Good for you. Good for you. That is going to be amazing.
And I also plan to like come out with shorts, like just like news info, security tips, like things like that.
Of
Just like
course.
to kind of break it up a little bit,
Yeah,
so it's
of
not like
course.
all long form videos.
Yeah, there needs to be a healthy mix of the two. And I was actually just talking to Nixon Creatives, if you're familiar with him. He does a lot of he's on Instagram more so than anywhere else. And he does some of the realistifying, I think is what you call it. Some of the V
Okay.
Friends. And he's been featured a couple of times on V Friends on their story and things. But we were talking about like getting a stockpile of posts to go out, like just get them created. And then that way you can sort of almost do a campaign of sorts where you're doing, okay, I'm going to do 2 shorts, 1 long. That's what I'm doing today. And you already have the backlog ready to go for, let's say, 3 weeks at a time.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely want to do that too. Like get to that point. It's tough though. It's so time consuming. I thought it's the whole because I have to go back in Etherscan and like so I take it out of Etherscan, put it in an Excel spreadsheet. Then I gotta take all the profits. So it's like, and then I gotta kind of go through because it's not always clear. And then you gotta go back and like on OpenSea through
Yeah.
your activities. Like there's a lot of
Oh,
I
I
probably should
know.
have kept
I
track
know.
as I was going along, but oh well, it's fun. It's still fun.
Yeah, because you got to go back. But that's the cool part about the
It's
blockchain is
fun.
now
Yeah.
you can go back and go look
Yeah.
at it. So
And
that's
then you're, oh my God, this happened then. Oh my God. Like, you hit all these like little, like, like, I don't know, they're like, I don't know, for example, like Bryce was gathering ETH up for Sarah, right? So I donated 0.05 because that's all I had really. And then like, I don't know, it's just cool to see that, right? I was like, oh my God, May 30th, I think it was. And it's just like,
uh-huh.
wow. Like, I don't know, it's so interesting, right?
Of course. Yeah, to see you can almost like timestamp exactly in your life what was going on at that time just because of the blockchain, because you remember
Yeah.
it then.
All these events, like when we helped out Corey, for example, that was another big one, like vector bots and all that stuff. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you seeing it. And like when I aped into the deadheads, for example, it's like, wow, that was at the end of June. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's crazy.
Seems like a
I like,
lifetime ago.
right? It seemed, I thought deadheads were like older, but then at the same time, I thought they were newer. It's like, wow.
Yeah. That is fantastic. It is fun to go back, almost to think about even where we were at in April, May, June, and just see the progression that has happened with everybody sort of in our little insiders group that we have going on was like everybody has sort of spidered out now and doing their thing because of such a strong foundation as of education. And I think that's
True.
where a lot of our group is focused on that, is the education and the safety. And because we've watched a lot of our friends get screwed over, and we hate,
Yeah.
yeah, we hate that. Um,
Yeah.
so it's like we're trying to do our damnedest to make sure that it doesn't happen anymore.
Exactly. And like knowledge is power, right? So like the more you learn, like the safer you can be.
Yep. Yeah. No more sweaty palms on every single click of my mouse. You know,
Yeah.
I can have confidence in certain sites and certain places that I've had success with, and that's what it takes
Yeah,
to
exactly.
trust the system, is not get screwed over. Like my buddy, I
Yeah.
just got him into to NFTs. He got into the crypto cannabis club. Like that was his very first NFT. He's a VV guy too. Like he's a big
Okay,
VV
okay.
collectibles. And
Those are doing good too.
then he went to freaking do something on Polygon, and now his Polygon is stuck in OpenSea. So like he's screwed. So he wasted like a couple $100 trying to do something there. So like I've been trying to help him in that, but there it's an issue right now with that wrapped Polygon, and then trying to transition it back over to Ethereum, like the bridge that has to happen.
Yeah.
We're trying
Yeah.
to
There's a lot of
understand it.
steps.
Yeah, because you
Yeah.
can bridge it from Ether to Polygon, no problem. But going back the other way, it's a different bridge.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a whole different step. Yeah.
Yeah. So the learning knowledge is power. And that's something that
Yeah.
we're focused on too. Like over at the NF Daddies, is like, as much as we can freaking help anybody who comes into our space, and we have the options, we have the network now, and it's just trying to make sure that everybody remains safe and enjoys this shit as much as we do, because
Yeah,
it is
exactly.
fun. It's
Oh
fun.
yeah. That was definitely one thing that I did a lot, was like a lot of listening and like a lot of reading, like especially all the way up until like, well, I still do it now, obviously, but I mean, like I used to just like sit quiet completely and just listen
Mm-hmm.
and learn from so many people, because so many people, like we have so many experts in so many different areas. And I'm not talking about just like NFTs. I was learning everything, just like how to communicate better, like just everything. Just is crazy.
Yeah,
So that
everything from
was
how
so
to
exciting
communicate
before.
better, the water purification systems, like what what school type is better here, like just hearing everybody. You're absolutely right. Like being quiet for a while was good.
Different, everyone from different backgrounds, and like it's so interesting, like and
Well,
their
having the
perspective and
worldwide.
opinion. Yeah, yeah. And it's just like when people come from like the advertising marketing side and they come in, like they always have different perspectives from people that come from the accounting side. And then obviously, right, like everybody has different, it's so interesting to see. And then when we all come together and like we're all learning from each other, and then we're all kind of branching out, like you said, into our own things, it's pretty fun to see. And yeah.
Yeah, and it's what's fun to me too is like whenever you start playing in your mind the projection of like, let's say 5 years from now, where is everybody going to be? And like we're all the, I mean, if you want to say it, OGs, you know. So if we
Yeah,
stick it out 5 years down the road, I mean, just imagine.
it's true. It's crazy to think about.
Mm, it is unbelievable to think about.
Even people like that, like I look up to people that were just in the space January. So like people entering now, they probably look up to us like that because we were involved in April and we don't even really like realize it, right?
Yeah. No, I think you're absolutely right. People coming in, and then you're repping whatever from back in May, April. And I mean that's something that they talked about at the very beginning of everything is, if you have those types of NFTs from back then in your wallet, like it means something.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a social, like, yeah, exactly.
There's social currency 100%. I
People
mean, that's
like
what
tend
most
to,
of this is.
yeah, people tend to like profile pictures that are like, apes, V friends, cool cats, punks, like of all the blue chips, right? I
Yeah.
mean, anyone can put like in a Discord, which is funny, is anyone can put that, so you don't know for sure if they're owning it. But like, it's
Yeah.
interesting to see when you do see like 100 of them, then okay, they're aping it.
Yeah. Yep. No doubt about that. So is there anything else that you wanted to go over today? Like some of the stuff that you have going on, or where people can find you at?
Yeah, I'm more active on Twitter, I would say. I gotta step up my Instagram. I still trying to figure out, like, there's so much going on that it's like it's hard to find like the time really. So I'm still working on time management, to be honest. And yeah, just getting everything set up and rolling.
That's, you know what? That's something that I actually did this past week, Mario, is I literally made a whole day schedule of, I didn't put down like micro on it at first. At the very beginning of last week, I made the schedule for like daytime work stuff, NFT stuff, Discord, Twitter. Like I literally just did that. And then I put goals for each of them.
Oh, smart.
So it was
yeah,
like,
I gotta do that.
it was like pointed. So anytime that I was on it, I had a task list. Like they were quests is what I was treating them like in my head. So
Smart.
like every time I was doing work stuff, I needed to accomplish this. If I was doing NFT stuff, I wanted to accomplish this. If I was on Twitter, I wanted to, do this, or maybe it was just free time. And it was like this past week and a half has been the most productive for me in months.
Wow, that's amazing.
But I also have like lists upon lists upon lists because if I don't, because the problem that I have, and I don't know if anybody else has this problem, is whenever I think of something, I have to do it or else I'll forget.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. The same way.
So I'm like, okay,
I write it down too.
now I write down. Alyssa has been telling me for years on years is like, just write it down. Cause I'll just like thought vomit on a text message to her.
Yeah.
And then I'll go back and read it. And she's like, are you just like thought vomiting on me? I'm like, yes, I just need to write it down somewhere. I can't find a pen and I'm like busy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's smart. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
She understands that because she's been with me for now 11 years. So, but yeah, we have an anniversary coming up here 2 weeks. Yeah. 2 weeks.
Nice.
Heck that's yeah, man.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's exciting. Well, Mario, thank you so much for joining me today, brother. I appreciated the time. I'm going to make sure that your YouTube channel is in the show notes. Man, I learned a ton. I can't wait to see what more you come out with and what you have going on. And me, I'm always following along with what you got going. So
thank you so much. Definitely I appreciate that. Thank you so much. A little choked up on words. Sorry.
Oh, no. Don't even worry about it. There's no pressure whatsoever.
Definitely appreciate you and everything you do for the community as well. And I can't wait to connect with you more. Definitely got to get more into your Discord. That's for sure.
That's all right, man. Whenever the time's right, you come on over. You're always welcome. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
As always, guys, enjoy the journey. Have a great day. Thank you so much for sticking here until the very, very end. If you wouldn't mind just leaving a comment or subscribing or liking the podcast or wherever you downloaded this, maybe it was from YouTube, I would love for that. You take an extra couple seconds to give us some more love. Even though you have listened here to the very, very end, we appreciate that so much. Could you also go over to thestarspodcast.com if you found any of this really interesting and you wanted to dive in a little bit further? Or go to our Discord, which is Rocinante Studios NFT. Enjoy the journey.